The ancient towers stand as sentinels of a bygone era, whispering in the wind in the forgotten corners of time. These silent giants, piercing the sky, are reminders of the skill, ingenuity, and ambition of long-gone civilizations. From Tikal Temple Four to Shwesandaw Pagoda Bagan, embark on a journey to explore 15 of the tallest ancient towers, where the mysteries of the past intertwine with the breathtaking beauty of the present. Starting with number 15, the minaret of Jamghor Province, Afghanistan. Lost in the rugged mountains of western Afghanistan stands an architectural marvel that has defied the ravages of time and conflict for over 800 years. The minaret of Jam, a soaring brick tower reaching towards the heavens, is one of the most incredible ancient structures you've likely never heard of. Approximately in 1194 CE, this 65-meter minaret was built in the Ghor province next to the Hari River. For centuries, it was practically inaccessible due to its isolated location deep within the Sharak district. This enormous minaret, however, has amazingly survived severe weather, cannon fire, and recurrent seismic activity. The minaret of Jam, a remarkable example of Islamic architecture and decorative brickwork from the late 12th century, is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Intricate bands of inscriptions and geometric patterns adorn the minaret's fluted shaft and stunningly intact double cosmatesque decorative brickwork. While the reasoning behind its original construction remains a mystery, some scholars theorize it may have been erected to commemorate a glorious military victory. This ancient Afghan brick minaret is an awe-inspiring testament to the ingenuity and artistry of medieval Muslim engineering and design. Getting to this incredible site requires navigating rough mountain roads through one of the most remote regions of Afghanistan. But those who make the journey are rewarded with the breathtaking sight of the minaret of Jam reaching skyward amidst the barren rocky landscape, as inspiring today as when it was first built over 800 years ago. Next, number 14, Tikal Temple Four, Tikal, Guatemala. An old stone pyramid rises out of the emerald canopy deep in the northern Guatemalan jungles, resisting the embrace of the natural world. This is Tikal Temple Four, a towering monument that once formed the centerpiece of one of the greatest cities in the Maya world. Rising over 230 feet into the air, Temple Four is an imposing sight even after over a millennium since its construction around 741 AD. It was the tallest man-made structure in the Americas for hundreds of years, until the relatively recent advent of modern skyscrapers. The sheer grandeur and meticulous stonework of this ancient Mesoamerican pyramid is simply astounding. Temple Four contains an estimated 1.4 million cubic feet of limestone and was likely commissioned by Yikin Chan Kawil, one of Tikal's most powerful rulers. While the function of this immense pyramid remains debated, many archaeologists believe it served as a funerary monument and shrine. Climbing the vertiginous steps rewards the intrepid with sweeping vistas across the dense rainforest canopy that consumed Tikal after its abandonment around 900 AD. Today, Temple Four stands as an iconic symbol of the genius and might of the ancient Maya civilization that flourished throughout Central America. As American visitors gaze upward at the temple's stepped sides piercing the jungle sky, they can't help but be awestruck by the incredibly advanced engineering and construction skills of the Maya people nearly 1,300 years ago. Later, number 13, Pyramid of the Sun, Teotihuacan, Mexico. An enormous monument that surpasses even the most ambitious creations of contemporary architects and engineers rises from the center of an old city. The Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan is a breathtaking testament to the sophistication and sheer audacity of Mesoamerican civilization. This gigantic stepped pyramid was constructed around 200 CE by an advanced culture that preceded and influenced the later Aztecs. Its base covers an area of over 35 acres, while the whole structure contains over 1 million cubic meters of earth, rock, and rubble, making it one of the largest buildings by volume in pre-modern history. The pyramid's staggering 216-foot height, achieved through precise stone masonry, alone is a feat nearly impossible to fully comprehend. How could a prehistoric society have built a monument of this enormous size without the use of contemporary tools or building materials? As visitors ascend the dizzying 248 steps to the summit, they find themselves surrounded by the ruins of temples, plazas, and elite residences that once formed a mighty sacred city. From the summit, expansive views show the Avenue of the Dead, flanked by smaller pyramids and buildings extending below. While its true purpose remains shrouded in mystery, the Pyramid of the Sun stands as an enduring symbol of the engineering genius, labor intensity, and spiritual obedience of the people of ancient Teotihuacan. Next, number 12, Lincoln Cathedral, Lincoln, UK. Picture this. It's 1311 in Lincoln, England. While most of Europe is still figuring out how to build a decent two-story house, the folks in Lincoln are putting the finishing touches on a cathedral so tall it would make modern architects do a double take. We're talking about a central spire that soared to a staggering 525 feet. For over 2 centuries, Lincoln Cathedral, the medieval marvel, wore the crown as the world's tallest structure, surpassing the Great Pyramid of Giza by a good 44 feet. But Lincoln Cathedral isn't just about height. This Gothic masterpiece is a feast for the eyes, with intricate stone carvings, mesmerizing vaulted ceilings, and windows that'll make you believe in the power of medieval bling. The cathedral is so massive that it has its own microclimate. That's right, it can literally make its own weather. Sadly, the record-breaking central spire collapsed in a storm in 1549, but Lincoln Cathedral is still a sight to behold. Standing at a respectable 271 feet today, it continues to dominate the skyline of Lincoln, reminding us of a time when faith, ambition, and a whole lot of stone could touch the heavens. Thereafter, number 11, Etemenanki, Babylon, Iraq. A crumbling monument that stands proudly out of the dusty plains of ancient Mesopotamia is a towering reminder of one of the most advanced civilizations in history. Etemenanki, the fabled ziggurat of Babylon, may be ruined today, but its shattered form still evokes awe and wonder. The scale of this monolithic step pyramid seems almost mythical. It originally soared over 300 feet into the desert sky, its mud brick ziggurats rising in 7 tiers, surrounded by an elaborate ritual complex dedicated to the god Marduk. Many academics think that grandiose buildings like Etemenanki served as inspiration for the biblical story of the Tower of Babel, which describes humankind's attempt to construct a stairway to the heavens. And indeed, for the ancient Babylonians under Nebuchadnezzar II in the 6th century BCE, it must have seemed like a stairway fit for deities. The ruins still stand as a testament to their majesty, though centuries of wind and battle have worn them down. The huge footprint of its base covers over 2.5 acres, with baked brick retaining walls still visible in parts. A series of stairways once linked the different levels, culminating in what was likely a temple or shrine at the summit. Visiting the echoes of this ancient monument today provides a visceral link to humanity's earliest attempts at literally reaching for the heavens through sheer civic willpower and technological prowess. While little more than an evocative ruin, Itamananki and the ambition behind its creation have cemented their place in humanity's historical imagination as the origin story of our never-ending quest to build higher and higher. Subsequently, number 10, Ruwanwali Anuradhapura, Sri Lanka. A massive white dome that rises out of the ground in the center of Anuradhapura, the ancient city of Sri Lanka, is simply amazing to see because of its size and age. This is the Ruwanwali Saya, a monumental stupa that has stood resolute for over 2,200 years as an iconic monument to Buddhist faith and architectural prowess. The stupa's perfectly preserved bell-shaped form, soaring nearly 300 feet, is an incredibly rare sight, a pre-modern human-made structure of such grandeur, still intact after over 2 millennia. In terms of age and volume, it dwarfs even the biggest pre-Columbian pyramids in the Americas. Originally constructed in 140 BCE, the Ruwanwali Saya is one of the world's tallest ancient brick buildings. But its immense size is only one part of its sacred significance. According to legend, this great stupa contains shard-like relics of the Lord Buddha himself, brought to the island nation centuries after his death on the Indian subcontinent. Approaching the massive white dome through the complex of surrounding ancient monasteries and temples instantly transports visitors back through the depths of time. As they gaze upwards at the weathered yet almost alien enormity of the structure's curved sides, it's easy to appreciate the incredible devotion and engineering know-how required by its original builders. Upcoming, number 9, Yongning Pagoda, Luoyang, China. Imagine, it's the 6th century AD, and while Europe is fumbling through the Dark Ages, China is reaching for the stars. The Yongning Pagoda, built during the Northern Wei dynasty, was a true skyscraper of its time. According to ancient records, this bad boy stood anywhere from 330 to a whopping 508 feet tall. This wasn't just any tower. The Yongning Pagoda was a multi-tiered wooden marvel, each level smaller than the one below, creating a tapering effect that must have been a sight to behold. And at the very top, a golden pinnacle that glinted in the sun, visible for miles around. Sadly, like many great wonders of the ancient world, the Yongning Pagoda is no more. It met its fiery demise just 70 years after its construction, falling victim to the flames of war. But its legacy lives on, holding the title of the tallest pagoda ever built, and possibly the tallest structure in the world during its brief but glorious existence. Following, number 8, Shwesandaw Pagoda Bagan, Myanmar. The Shwesandaw Pagoda towers over the dusty plain of ancient Bagan like a massive golden cone, casting a commanding shadow over the thousands of temples that make up this hallowed terrain. This 328-foot brick spire, reaching towards the sky, is like glimpsing a relic from another age entirely. The elegantly terraced levels of the pagoda, which was built in the 11th century under King Anawrahta, give way to an elongated bell shape that is crowned with a golden crown covered in jewels. It is a striking architectural feat and a profound declaration of Buddhist devotion, cutting an entrancing silhouette against the Burmese skyline. To visit Shwesandaw is to be instantly transported back to the zenith of the Bagan Empire, when the region formed the religious heart of the Buddhist world, and monuments of this grandeur seem to effortlessly rise from the fertile soil. Despite being over 1,000 years old, the pagoda retains its regal bearing, with its elaborate brickwork and glazed decorations impeccably preserved. Those who make the pilgrimage to ascend the pagoda's 5 elevated terraces and circular stairways are rewarded with sweeping vistas across Bagan's fabled valley of temples. As the sun sets, the ancient spires and domes seem to glow with an enchanting warmth. In a country filled with pagodas, Shwesandaw's towering elegance sets it apart. Its sheer verticality and ornamentation seem to almost defy the realities of brick-and-mortar construction from a bygone era. For the modern visitor, whether Buddhist or not, the pagoda's grandeur is a humbling tribute to the heights of human faith, vision, and ingenuity. Formerly, number 7, the Red Pyramid, Dashur, Egypt. The Red Pyramid of Dashur, a frequently disregarded ancient marvel, is tucked away from the renowned Giza Plateau and is just waiting to be rediscovered. This towering monument casts an unmistakable rusty hue across the Egyptian desert sands, its massive form projecting the raw power and ambition of the Old Kingdom pharaohs. The sheer scale of the Red Pyramid is simply staggering. At over 340 feet in height, it's one of the largest pyramids ever constructed by human hands. Its ruddy limestone blocks form a seemingly endless zigzag of layers, ascending towards a now crumbled summit. Yet, despite being the third largest pyramid in ancient Egypt after the renowned pyramids of Giza, the Red Pyramid remains an underrated spectacle. Perhaps its location in the lesser-known necropolis of Dashur has allowed it to avoid the overwhelming crowds. Those who do make the pilgrimage are rewarded with an up-close glimpse at megalithic perfection. This pyramid was constructed circa 2600 BCE under the orders of Pharaoh Sneferu, serving as a key transitional milestone in pyramid evolution. Its uppermost levels display smoother, more refined construction compared to the pyramids that came before. Inside, a network of intricate passage chambers and relieving chambers showcases ancient Egyptian architectural and engineering prowess. As visitors gaze upwards along the Red Pyramid's russet flanks, disappearing into the glare of the Egyptian sky, they can't help but be awestruck by the immense scale of such an enduring human monument. One built over 4,600 years ago without modern machinery or techniques. It stands as a visceral connection to the indomitable will and devotion of the pharaohs, who saw these eternal projects brought into reality through sheer mastery over stone and sweat. Then, number 6, Pharos Lighthouse, Alexandria, Egypt. The Pharos Lighthouse of Alexandria, which is a breathtaking monument in the ancient world whose fame and grandeur were unmatched. Rising a staggering 450 feet into the Egyptian sky, this colossal lighthouse was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world and the tallest human-made structure for centuries after its completion around 280 BCE. Imagining a tower of such immense height constructed over 2,300 years ago is simply mind-bending. The Pharaohs was commissioned by Ptolemy II to guide ships safely into Alexandria's bustling harbors, which at the time were the crossroads for trade and culture linking Europe, Asia, and Africa. Its light, which came from an unending flame, could be seen more than 35 miles out to sea. In an era before modern construction materials, the lighthouse's sheer scale and longevity were made possible through cutting-edge Hellenistic design and engineering. Its 3 tapering tiers were built from solid stone blocks using innovative architectural techniques like arched doorways and a square base to better resist waves. At its apex, an immense mirror reflected the fire far across the Mediterranean, a dazzling beacon for weary sailors. Adorned with grand statues and intricate carvings, this wonder of the world transcended its utilitarian purpose, becoming a shining architectural embodiment of Alexandria's sophistication and power. Tragically, this crown jewel eventually succumbed to a series of earthquakes over a millennium after its prime. But as you trace the faded foundations still visible on Egypt's coast, you cannot help but feel immense awe and inspiration at what was once the ancient world's tallest and most celebrated lighthouse, bathing ships in its immortal light. Thereafter, number 5, Kanishka Stupa, Peshawar, Pakistan. Assume a towering structure that stood like a sentinel over the ancient lands of present-day Pakistan. Its staggering height is a testament to the architectural brilliance of the Kushan Empire. This monumental stupa, commissioned by the great king Kanishka in the 2nd century CE, was a true marvel of its time, soaring above the city of Peshawar and earning its place among the tallest ancient towers in the world. The Kanishka stupa was more than just a religious structure. It was a representation of the strength, devotion, and creative prowess of the Kushan civilization. It was constructed to house priceless Buddhist relics. Its imposing presence, visible from miles away, would have left travelers and pilgrims alike in awe, their eyes drawn to the meticulously crafted structure that defied the boundaries of engineering at the time. While the centuries have taken their toll and the stupa now stands as a mere shadow of its former glory, its remnants continue to captivate archaeologists and historians alike. Excavations at the site, known as Shaji Ki Deri, have revealed intricate carvings, sculptures, and architectural details that offer glimpses into the grandeur of this ancient tower. Imagine the scenes that unfolded beneath its massive dome, where monks and devotees gathered to seek enlightenment, to meditate, and to pay homage to the relics enshrined within. The Kanishka stupa was not merely a landmark, but a living, breathing embodiment of the spiritual and cultural richness that flourished along the ancient Silk Road. As we traverse the annals of history, the Kanishka stupa stands as a testament to the ingenuity and ambition of the ancient world, a towering achievement that continues to inspire and intrigue us to this day. Upcoming number 4, Jetavanaramaya Anuradhapura, Sri Lanka. Think a massive brick structure towering over a lush jungle landscape, its dome reaching towards the heavens. This isn't a scene from an adventure movie. It's the Jetavanaramaya Stupa in Anuradhapura, Sri Lanka. This ancient marvel, which was constructed in the 3rd century AD, is proof of our ancestors' amazing engineering prowess. At its peak, the Jetavanaramaya soared to a height of 400 feet, making it the 3rd tallest structure in the ancient world, right behind the Great Pyramids of Giza. This behemoth isn't made of stone like many other ancient monuments. The ancient Sri Lankans decided to go big with bricks. We're talking about a staggering 93 million bricks. Give or take a few. The Jetavanaramaya isn't just about size though. It's a sacred Buddhist site, housing relics of the Buddha himself. Today, while time has taken its toll, the Jetavanaramaya still stands proud at about 230 feet tall. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, drawing visitors from around the globe who come to marvel at its sheer scale and the ingenuity of its builders. Next, number 3, East 7-story Pagoda at Todaiji, Nara, Japan. A revered monument that has been a famous site for more than 1,000 years is tucked away in the ancient Japanese city of Nara. Since its construction in the 8th century CE, the magnificent wooden East 7-story pagoda at the Todaiji Temple complex has miraculously withstood the ravages of time, fire, and war, standing at a height of 100 feet. The incredible age and preservation of this intricately crafted pagoda is simply astonishing. While wooden architecture in the West rarely endures more than a few centuries, this remarkable 7-tiered structure has graced the Nara skyline for nearly 1,300 years through a mix of ingenious engineering and painstaking maintenance. Originally built in 729 CE alongside Todaiji's massive Great Buddha Hall, the pagoda exemplifies the advanced woodworking and architectural skills of Japan's Nara period architects and builders. Each stacked tier consists of an elaborately curved roofline supported by protruding wooden brackets. while the interior contains a series of shrines on different levels. As visitors approach through the serene grounds of the UNESCO-listed temple complex, the pagoda's reddish-brown facade seems to glow warmly in the sun, its vertical lines drawing the eye upwards towards the sky. Despite being dwarfed by Todaiji's gargantuan Great Buddha Hall, the pagoda retains an elegant grace and poise. Stepping inside provides a window into the spiritual world of 8th century Buddhism and aristocratic culture. Ascending the steep stairs reveals intricate wood carvings, latticework, and sculptures of deities, preserving centuries of stories and faith within the pagoda's aging timber frame. Thereafter, number 2, the Great Pyramid and the Pyramid of Khafre, Giza, Egypt. The Great Pyramid and the Pyramid of Khafre in Giza, Egypt. These aren't just big piles of rocks, they're the granddaddies of all ancient towers. Now imagine, it's 2500 BC, and while most of humanity is figuring out how to make better spears, the ancient Egyptians are out here building structures so massive, they'll still be blowing minds 4,500 years later. The Great Pyramid, built for Pharaoh Khufu, originally stood at a jaw-dropping 481 feet tall, and its slightly smaller sibling, the Pyramid of Khafre, still reaches an impressive 448 feet into the sky. These colossal monuments held the title of the tallest man-made structures on Earth for an astounding 3,800 years. These pyramids aren't just big, they're precise. The Great Pyramid's base is level to within just 2 centimeters. That's some seriously impressive engineering for a civilization that didn't even have the wheel yet. And let's not forget the sheer amount of stone used. The Great Pyramid alone contains an estimated 2.3 million blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons. These pyramids have become the ultimate symbol of ancient Egypt. They've inspired countless movies, books, and yes, even a few wacky alien theories. But the real story of human ingenuity, ambition, and a whole lot of hard work is far more impressive than any sci-fi tale. Finally, number 1, Liaodi Pagoda, Dingzhou, China. Over 1,000 years old, a testament to architectural endurance, it perches majestically above the vast rural landscape of Hebei province in northern China. The Liaodi Pagoda is an 84-meter brick spire that pierces the sky, holding the distinction of being the tallest pre-modern pagoda and tallest all-brick pagoda in the entire world. The sheer height and age of this 11th century structure from the Song dynasty is simply astonishing. Imagine the immense skill and labor required by ancient Chinese builders to erect a tower of such monumental scale using just brick, stone, timber, and mortar. The pagoda was constructed around 1054 CE during the reign of Emperor Renzong as part of the Kaiyuan Buddhist monastery complex. Its octagonal base rests upon an expansive stone platform, while the body consists of intricately patterned brickwork rising in multiple diminishing tiers, capped with a slender spire. While originally built to sacred spiritual specifications, the true purpose of pagodas like Liaodi was to showcase the might and prosperity of imperial dynasties. At nearly 300 feet, the skyscraping edifice cuts an imposing figure visible for miles across the plains surrounding the sleepy town of Dingzhou. Despite the ravages of wars, invasions, and natural disasters that have shaken the region over its 1,000-year existence, the Liaodi Pagoda remarkably remains intact and structurally sound to this day. As visitors gaze upward at its dizzying height, they can't help but be awed by the sheer ingenuity and mastery of ancient Chinese architecture and engineering. We are coming to an end here today. Thanks for watching, and for such top listing videos, subscribe to our channel.